Okay. My name is Mary Sasano, and I am a writer in Edmonton, and public speaking is very hard for me, so please be patient. The section I've been asked to read is called Victimization of Aboriginal People. An astonishing number of Aboriginal children were victims of crime in residential schools. By the end of 2014, the independent assessment process had resolved 30,939 sexual or serious physical abuse claims, awarding $2.69 billion in compensation. Although not every case would have involved a criminal act, the vast majority did, easily allowing anyone to conclude that the Indian Residential School Settlement Agreement involved the largest single recognition of criminal victimization in Canadian history. This victimization of children has carried profound and long-lasting effects. Ruby Firth, a former student at Stringer Hall, told the Commission, "All through my residential school, I was a victim. They put me in that frame of mind where I was a victim. I was 4 years old being a victim, 5 years old, couldn't stop it. 6 years old, couldn't stop it. 7 years old, couldn't stop it. So at some point my brain is going to say, this is never going to stop." So that's what I was doing in my adult life too, because it didn't stop in my childhood. I was doing that in my adult. This is never going to stop. The justice system continues to fail Aboriginal victims of crime. There are few services available for Aboriginal victims of crime. Victim compensation schemes are often lacking and often fail to recognize the distinct needs of Aboriginal victims of crime. The statistics are startling. Aboriginal people are 58% more likely to be victimized by crime. Aboriginal women report being victimized by violence. 13% of Aboriginal women reported being victimized by violent crime in 2009. In the same year, 1 in 10 Aboriginal people reported being a victim of a non-spousal violent crime, more than double the rate reported by non-Aboriginal people. It is difficult to obtain accurate information about the rate of victimization in Aboriginal communities. According to some studies, less than 1/3 of victims of crime report their victimization to police, and police forces across the country do not have a consistent method for recording the Aboriginal identity of victims. Statistics Canada does not provide the kinds of supports necessary to permit some Aboriginal victims to comfortably disclose their experience to researchers. The most recent Statistics Canada data on homicide and family violence failed to report how many victims were Aboriginal, although older data suggests that homicide victimization rate of Aboriginal people between 1997 and 2000 was 7 times that of non-Aboriginal people. Call to action. We call upon the federal government to develop a national plan to collect and publish data on the criminal victimization of Aboriginal people, including data related to homicide and family violence victimization. This data should be used to guide the development and funding of culturally appropriate services for Aboriginal victims of crime, and to help make measurable reductions in the overrepresentation of Aboriginal people among crime victims. We call upon all levels of government, in collaboration with Aboriginal people, to create adequately funded and accessible Aboriginal-specific victim programs and services with appropriate evaluation mechanisms.